What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about a dam that's about to break. And I say that word as in, like, the thing that stops water from moving, not in case YouTube has some sort of issue with that. So there was a person who reached out. His name is McTavish, okay? So I want to thank him for reaching out. Now, I'm going to be careful of how far I go with certain things, just so everybody's kind of clear, even though I left that very ambiguous. But he messaged me over on, I believe on Sunday, and there was a person that was going around saying that they pretty much knew everything that was happening at the Square Enix conference and at the Nintendo conference at E3. Now, I'm going to probably read the Square Enix one for you guys because of context, but what we've learned today is that there is a publisher that's going to E3 that's having a conference that all of their E3 is about to come out in terms of a leak. It's kind of just a matter of when. There are assets flying around the internet, and I mean, like, and I guess they said like pictures, videos, like everything, names, everything you can imagine that would literally deflate all the excitement for this thing to happen is about to come out. It's just who's going to be the brave soul to do it, and then coincidentally afterwards like get in massive trouble and probably be banned for life from whatever they do. Okay, now people have come out to say that is Square Enix. Square Enix is, in fact, the publisher that has this stuff going around. So, at the same time, one thing, again, to put this into context, that does make me want to believe this the person who sent me this stuff even more. However, more and more people are saying, but Nintendo has nothing to do with it. So, people claiming that it's Square Enix and Nintendo, that's not true. So, that's something that you have to throw in there where it's like, well, how did this guy... Like, is this guy right with Square Enix, and then he just threw in Nintendo as fun? Are people trying to cover their backs and saying, like, we don't want them to be right, we want to say it first? There's politics in these leaks, right? Because it's very important to some people. So I want to read over the Square Enix stuff, but I do also want to talk about just what it means for this to happen. So let's start with reading it out. Now, for clarification, they say that it doesn't have to just be at E3. They say E3, Summer Game Fest, State of Play, or an unknown Square Enix event. These are the games for the Direct. Final Fantasy 16 gameplay with a release window 2022. Kingdom Hearts Project Oath, so a new Kingdom Hearts game, March 2022. Forspoken long trailer gameplay, June 2022. Babylon's Fall gameplay trailer, Q2 2023. New Tomb Raider IP, Project Eclipse. New update for Marvel's Avengers and Outriders. Final Fantasy VII Part 2 teaser trailer. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai. I don't play Dragon Quest games. Teaser trailer for the next actual new Dragon Quest, fall of 2022, and then a new IP. So, well, first I want to say that all sounds plausible. And however, if you want to make your stuff sound plausible, those are the kind of things you would put in there. Obviously, you're gonna have updates for Avengers and stuff like that, and Outriders. Saying the new Kingdom Hearts thing is not the most risky in the world, considering we know 2022 is a big year for Kingdom Hearts, so I guess you're just kind of assuming. Final Fantasy VII Part 2, there's been talks that they could very well show just a little of it, or at least say that, it's happening, in front of everybody, kind of, even though, everybody knows and they have said it. So, again, it doesn't sound the most wrong. And it does also, I guess it doesn't sound perfect, so again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Again, I'm not going to read the Nintendo ones just because, again, people are kind of saying that that's not true, and I can maybe, if you guys really want that, I can maybe do it in its own video. I'm going to have predictions for each of these conferences on my own. I may not do the Square Enix one if it gets leaked within the next couple days, and that leads us to, the issue here, okay? Now, it's kind of, you could say it's hypocritical of me because, I don't think it's the main pillar of the channel. I think there's many other things that I consider the main pillar of Podcast Now, but I cover a lot of leaks and rumors, okay? So I'm not I guess what I'm kind of getting at is I'm not afraid to almost, I guess, ruin things. I don't really consider it ruining, considering I'm also not the one starting these leaks, right? If I was starting it, I would have something to do with the spread. I would have something to do with, I guess, in that way, okay, I know I'm going to ruin this specific aspect of something, and you have to, know that as you're saying it, right? For me, it's not like that, okay? But what I will say is I hate this. I hate the fact that this is happening, and I'll tell you why. I've always said I don't really like E3 in general, right? And one of the reasons I don't like E3 is that all of these announcements kind of one-up each other. You're going to forget about an announcement 10 minutes later because there's something else. So, like, there's those kind of issues with E3. And I guess you could say, well, knowing the Square Enix stuff ahead of time actually puts it ahead of the curve, I guess. But then, like the whole point of E3 is that you're purposely, even though I don't like it, you're purposely putting all these developers, all these publishers back to back to back to back to back in a 3-day period. Okay, I guess technically I think it's 4 this year. 4 days, but well, actually I don't even know because E3 is being very secretive in what's actually happening. Normally conferences are normally 3-ish days. They only go like 3 days, and then the rest of E3 is like you go on the show floor and you play the games and the journalists talk and all that stuff. That's normally how E3 works. I think this year maybe it's 4 days of conferences, but still you're gonna put a lot of publishers back to back to back. Okay. But, like, fine, that it's obviously their gig, it's what they want to do, okay? But then you have one of them being completely ruined ahead of time. And, you know, this is where our old friend / nemesis, you know, like Jason Schreier, very double-sided, considering he ruins stories and ruins behind-the-scenes facts and even announcements of games all the time as his job, and then he gets mad when other people do it because and he's literally said it before, like, you're ruining things for the developers. You literally do it all. So I'm gonna take a page from him in this way and say, I mean, that is kind of what you're doing here, okay? I would put what Jason does in the same boat as this right now, because it's like, yeah, is it cool to know what's gonna be at E3? I guess, but I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan of E3, but as it gets closer to E3, I mean, I'm not denying. I've never denied it, by the way. I've always said I'm excited. I'm like I'm very pumped to cover it. I love announcements. I love them. I love them to death. So, like, it's a very love-hate thing where, like, I hate the fact that it has to be in a 3-day period, but I love getting announcements. So, like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? That's always where I've stood with it. And it's kind of like with anything. Do you want everything spoiled beforehand? My answer is really no, even for somebody who does love to read leaks and rumors and stuff. And it's just my opinion, but I don't like to know you know what I mean? I mean, that's just personally me. Same thing for like a Sony thing. Like, if you want to leak one thing, if you want to say a new Kingdom Hearts game is going to be at Square Enix's thing, cool. I will take that. I will probably make a video on it. I'll be excited for it, but I don't want to know everything, because then literally there's almost not a reason to watch, because, like, you already know what I mean. I guess to watch to see, like, the visual representation of what you actually read, right? But besides that, there's really not much of a reason. And again, it would be the same thing for Sony. It'd be the same thing for Microsoft. Like, if they said, okay, I know the entire Microsoft conference, but I'm just going to tell you one thing. Here's what they're going to show for Halo Infinite. But I'm not going to say anything else for any of the other games. That would be fine. You get a little bit, and then you have to watch for the rest of it. So, you know, I know there's some people that don't do that, right? My wife, for, like, movies and stuff, she'll read the whole entire thing before she sees it. I don't like it, okay? I've told her before. I said, why do you do that to yourself? Why do you ruin it for yourself? And that's just she likes to do that. And so I respect that. And I know there are people like that. They like to know things ahead of time. And so, you know, for a conference like this, maybe it's awesome knowing everything ahead of time. But for me, I just don't like it. I think it lets the cat out of the bag. Now, again, I'm not saying what I just read is the truth, because it very well could not be, but I think the official thing, if you want to believe anything going on today, is that there is the entire conference of a publisher out there ready to be just leaked out into the world, and it's Square Enix. So, like, it's only a matter of time until we get everything. Hopefully, people are just nice with it and don't do it, or it doesn't make too much of it doesn't spread too much, right? And then we can still kind of be surprised on it. But, you know, I'll let you know if I see anything, and maybe if you don't want to see it, maybe we could do something like that. Maybe we can purposely try to avoid it as these weeks go on. I mean, we're almost there. E3 is right around the corner, so hopefully they can just wait a little bit longer. So let me know, guys, what do you think? Do you think what I read out is the truth? Do you like knowing everything about these conferences, all that kind of stuff? Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Leave this video a like if you did like it. Help YouTube spread the video out. It didn't give notifications, so I definitely need your guys' help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.